Hello Internet, and welcome back to Minecraft. I am JD, the Arbiter, and today I am going to be showing you some interesting redstone um, that I've created for a vanilla DoTA map. For those of you who don't know what DoTA is, it's a push type map where you run along as a hero and you have to capture these towers, and the towers attack you. Now, these sandstone things are some failed attempts at the redstone I wanted to create. And the stuff with blue wool is the final product. So I'm just going to hop in and show you the first thing that I did. I'll show everything in order of creation. But first I'm going to show you this interesting little bud switch. It works by when you press this button, it powers some redstone, which powers the door, and this block is still powered, and it's diagonal to that piston. So when the door opens, it shoves open the piston, because for whatever reason, when you power a diagonal block to a piston, and then update a block next to the piston fires. But since the button turns off after a moment, cuts the redstone current to the door, so the door closes. And since the piston is no longer receiving diagonal power, it also closes. I thought it was just an interesting little resetting switch. I don't remember how I discovered it. Anyway, I'm gonna go into survival mode, and I'm gonna take off all this armor. We're going to run here. This is tower 1, lane 1, 5 hits. So 5 times on this pressure pad will kill this tower. And I'll show you the mechanism later. Oh, I must not... Hold on a moment. Apologies. I have forgotten to load the pistons, or dispensers. So these would have splash potions of damage. Instant damage too. They do not stack, so I'm just going to load in a couple and show you how much damage they would deal. So it deals a fair amount of damage, and you also get stuck in that thing. Must be a bug. It didn't used to do that. But anyway, I'll show you now the mechanism that allows this to work. This is something that I saw on YouTube. I went looking I was just randomly surfing and I saw this. I couldn't figure out how I was going to have multiple attack detecting, and then I saw this. So someone just used sand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when this sand falls, it covers this redstone torch and powers this redstone. And this is just a big AND gate. You can expand this not exponentially. You can expand this infinitely this way. And what I've got it is, I was playing around with the idea of it coming up here and powering a bunch of TNT and blowing up the tower. I don't think I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is, it turns on this latch, which brings us to the next bit of our DoTA map. This contraption is basically just a really big redstone clock. And what it does is when I start it, it sends a pulse through. This is the way I'm going to have the mobs that walk down lanes in DoTA. Every time this pulse goes through, it cuts the power to this and allows this dispenser to fire 5 or 6 times. I'm going to have mob eggs in there. I'll just cut the power for a sec. So basically, every time you have a latch open up, it sends a signal here. When the latch gets powered, it'll send a signal through here. They're not connected right now. And it will walk up here, and these pistons will destroy these bits of redstone, which are... these 2 pieces of redstone on top of the blocks are absolutely required for this kind of mechanism to work. So they break that so this can't misfire. And this piston also gets pushed forward, which will allow a redstone current to go through on to the next lane, or the next tower. So basically you'll have mobs spawning around the towers. And that's the premise of the walking along mobs. This was a failed model for the store. I have a much better model now. This is something that I saw on YouTube again. I'll put some boots in there just to demonstrate it. So the way the shop works is it can't detect what type of block you're throwing in, but it can detect how many. And that's all I really needed. So if we toss 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've got my boots. Comes out of the ceiling and right into me. So that was... I would credit the person who made it, but I honestly can't remember their name. I have no idea what this piston is for. He had it in his design. I've taken it out in the past, and it doesn't do anything. But I figured, just in case, I should probably have it. So the basic principle is, these fall down, and whenever they hit one of these pressure plates that's on these fences, they power this repeater, and push out a block of ice, so it can't fall on the same one twice. And it comes out here, comes out here, comes out here. Now when the last one is powered, it sends the signal to this block, which powers the piston, as well as this redstone, which turns off this redstone torch, which in turn turns off this, unpowers this block, and all of this gets unpowered. And the way that works is, when it gets unpowered and then immediately repowered, it toggles this dispenser. So that was just the shop mechanism. It's on the honor system. I had it so that it would be mob drops, and this door is just, there would be more shops going that way. I have one final piece of redstone to show you, and then a little bonus over there. But this is the last thing that pertains to my DoTA map. This is how an alarm system would work. This would be back at your base, and this is showing for Tower 1. So every time someone steps on the pressure plate, it powers this, and it sets off a note, and this torch flashes. And I would have it set up so that this torch would stay off once it's dead. But it just all the sand just falls down into here. I might have it fall into some lava instead. Not quite sure what I want to do with that. But yeah, that's all of DoTA. So now I'm going to show you this bonus thing. Also courtesy of YouTube. This is a lighthouse. I'm just going to grab a minecart here. And you put it on, give it a little push, and it's off. Now, there's a bit of lag, so it doesn't look as cool as it could, but the basic premise of it is... Come here, minecart. Every time the minecart goes on one of these detector rails, it turns off a redstone torch, which turns on this redstone torch, which turns off that redstone torch, which unpowers this block of pistons on a delay with using these repeaters. So it opens this one first, this one, then this one, then this one, and after this one opens, this one closes, then that one, then that one, then that one. And it just continues on in a circle like that. And when these ones turn on, they turn on, or they turn off. Yeah, hold on. Right, so there's the ones down in here in the middle. And when it turns off, it turns that one on, which turns on one that's hidden under here, which in turn opens these pistons. So that's all for Minecraft today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I would expect the DoTA map to be coming out in a few months once I work out the kinks and get Voxel on a server. I should be putting up that DoTA map. I've seen other people make DoTA maps in Minecraft, but they all use mods. So I wanted to have one that was more accessible and open to a wider range of people, because I use a Mac personally and I know how hard it is to get mods on here. So expect that to be coming out within the next few months. I know that's a while away, but it's going to take me a while to build the map, make it look nice, hide all the redstone, and figure out a few more bits of redstone that I think I'm going to need. Well, this is JD the Arbiter, signing off.